Welcome to Second Take, the show that focuses on the issues behind the news. Mining Weekly editor Martin Creamer joins me today to discuss how power cuts are affecting Amplats, reducing mine development risk, and jewellery's influence on platinum. Welcome, Martin.
Hi, Sasha.
Now, power cuts are affecting Amplats significantly. Just tell us about that.
Yeah, we saw with their production 6% down and a lot of implications on the way because they're not getting the required level of electricity security that you need when you're in mining, and also hit by load shedding. But what I wanted to raise was that many of these companies, including Anglo American Platinum, are prepared to enter into agreements for self-generation, and normally other very able companies build these sun and wind energy projects on mine land, and then the agreement is that the mine will have an offtake. But what is happening is that this is a serious business case because Eskom's tariffs have gone so high now, their reliability is so poor now, that it makes a lot of business sense for mining companies to generate their own electricity or for a range to have an offtake agreement with a capable generator. And all sorts of red tape is being thrown in the way of these companies, which I think is really bad for the economy at the moment. These companies want to go ahead with projects that will assure them low-cost electricity, and the regulatory environment creates obstacles. Not only Eskom itself, which wants them to have very small, uneconomical little plants that generally are about 1/10 of what the people want, like, you know, Anglo American Property, Anglo American Platinum, they want 100 megawatts, and they're told, well, 10 megawatts. Think of 10 megawatts. You know, that's not going to go ahead at that level. NERSA as well, the National Energy Regulator, is very hazy about all this, not registering, you know, the applications for new sun energy and wind energy projects, and really stalling everything, which has got to be changed. I mean, they can't not deliver and then stop you delivering for yourself. So hopefully there'll be some big decisions.
And Evolve Mining and AMC have a new approach to miner development and operation.
Yes, you know, it's great to enter into a project with sort of foreknowledge of a guarantee. We know that at operating level, we find Evolve and AMC doing this for many manganese companies. Those companies are reporting back saying that this is exceptionally good for both parties, where you really know where you are with your costs. And we saw that in West Africa, I mean, they really performed a quick change in the whole structure that had been set up by a much bigger company, but at far greater expense. And they really decimated the costs there and fixed up the logistics, which caught our attention at the Mining Indaba in Cape Town, because they were flashing this around, showing it to everybody, but it showed the capability of these new innovative type of project companies, Evolve Mining and AMC, that can go in there. The design is done by Evolve, and then the actual building of the project or the operation is done by AMC, but with the owner of the project knowing exactly what the costs are going to be, because they give them a guaranteed cost per ton. And I think this is setting quite a good, interesting benchmark. It'll encourage juniors to come forward, but also give a lot of confidence to big mining companies.
And marketing investment in jewellery is proving to be very beneficial for platinum.
Yes, you know, we talk a lot about how the platinum price is going to be elevated, and what are the ways of doing this. You know, people always indicate you must cut supply, then your price goes up. We've seen that even with cut supply, that platinum price is not going up at the moment. There are all sorts of new parameters being set up for the automotive industry, which has been the biggest offtake for platinum, particularly diesel, being very, very big for platinum. Now when there's uncertainty, we see that there's just not enough momentum from a demand point of view to get that platinum price up. And in the past, I mean, when we used to talk to the old Johannesburg Consolidated Investments, or you went in there for an interview, all they would be talking about is marketing. Because in those days, they didn't want to divulge much, because there was a lot of competition, and there was a huge division between the companies at that time. So they would be telling you how they were getting Johnson Matthey working on big demand issues and how they did these agreements with the automotive industry that set up production vision over a long period. Now we see that if you really want to lift demand, you go into jewelry. And at the same time as all these automotive efforts have been made, we've always had the Platinum Guild International working on this. So they've got a huge understanding of what drives demand. And they can almost also guarantee that if you put $1 in, you're going to get, $81 of revenue back. If you're in China and the various other destinations, they've had this long experience how if you move in with a certain way of supporting the platinum jewelry industry, which is doing very well in China but could do much better, the opportunity, should we say, in China is much better. There has been a bit of a decline in the Chinese offtake of jewelry, but there are a whole lot of what they call 3-tier and 4-tier cities that don't really have this big access to platinum jewelry like the other Chinese cities do, and many of them. And they got a formula that if they go in there in a certain way, you almost guaranteed to get that demand. And that is important for platinum at the moment, the creation of demand. And we see that there's a new emphasis. We noticed on the Platinum Group Metals Day in Johannesburg, they're putting a new emphasis on the need to drive that marketing and not just be suppliers. Also look to ways of doing that quite cost effectively. And what they said was the jewelry, you can get a return very, very quickly. It's the best, it's the fastest. There are the most opportunities there, particularly in China, but India also growing quite well off a low base. And then the second part is, getting people to consider buying platinum in physical form, coins or bar. That's the second quickest that you can get demand built from. And fuel cells, of course, they're looking at that in the longer term. So hopefully that this demand idea, where you stimulate demand, will come back, because I think we fell away in having so many supply problems that they got distracted. But now clearly knowing the way to go to get demand built up again, and I'm sure they'll pursue it.
Thanks for speaking with us,
It's a great pleasure, Sashni.
That's it for today. Join us again next week for more news analysis on the local and global mining industries. And don't forget to listen to the audio version of our Mining Weekly daily email newsletter.